Hello and welcome to Talk Time with me. Today I'm joined with six girls over here and we're going to talk about some very interesting topics as for what women of today really think about. Women Day is round the corner and what are the women of today thinking? What are they wanting out of life? These are women who are doing their MBA and what are the actual career choices that they're looking at? Do they really think the corporate field is where they really want to head? Are there jobs available for them as well? And are they actually thinking of marriage first? What is it? How's the dating life nowadays going? What is the social pressure nowadays that these guys are facing? Let's hear it from them with me on Talk Time today. So, going with you first. You guys are all at the Vedika program doing your MBA, looking ahead. Nowadays the job culture has changed a lot. And firstly, there's a lot of scarcity of jobs. What are you guys feeling? What is your first take on that?
So I did had 3 years experience in publishing, and before this chat, when we had discussion about how women as well, they certain to certain level they dominate. I believe expectations towards not just salaries, not just towards equality, equity, which we talked about, but also how they have preset mindset about which comes from their home. Inequality develops at home. So when we give bigger portion to men on the table, that actually suggests that they feel underdeserved in workplace as well. So even if while asking for raise, they think that maybe we don't deserve it, maybe men are more risk takers than us, so why should we ask for the same?
Can I ask you as one simple question? Has there been like, are you going to choose a career? Because sometimes people say if you hire a girl, she'll take a marriage break. If her husband's not working in the same city, she'll leave the city. All right. Your options reduce. You take a maternity, maybe she doesn't come back after her maternity. Let's not give her the promotion. Do you guys face such kind of fears? Have you guys heard of such things? What do you guys?
I have a friend who's working in a law firm, and she has told me that there is sort of unconscious bias in the hiring process in law firms. Because they tend to prefer male candidates. Because in law firms, the schedules are hectic and people have to stay back overnight in the office to work. And because of the dynamic nature of case hearings, because women tend not to stay back overnight because of safety issues, but men can, and because of this they tend to work longer hours, and because of this in turn they can negotiate for higher salaries, which is in itself a sort of systemic barrier for women. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so I was saying that I think the bias would always stay. It doesn't matter how much policies that we come forth with, because after all, it's corporate and these are businesses. They look for profits, and if they see that someone's leaving for certain months and then coming back, of course that'll be a loss. But at the same time, we need that is why we need women, more women in leadership, because that empathy angle will come, right? Like, she has been through the same thing, so she can vouch for that. She can, if someone's been like, let's not hire her, she can vouch it, and then she can be like, let's just see how she is as an employee rather than seeing her situations and stuff. So I think the primary thing difference that we need is more women in leadership.
So that is actually very interesting. How many of you would actually want women bosses? Because we all know that, how much ever we talk about this, women are not women's best friend at the end of the day. We always hear that, and you guys are all studying at the same place. So a lot of girls come from, all girls college, all girls school. You must have heard this simple comment. So do you guys, how many of you want women bosses or have you had a women boss ever?
I had a woman boss, which I'm really glad. And even if she's watching this, Bhakti, you have been an angel for me. She has understood me during COVID times, during hectic hours, how my body was changing at that time. So mental health is something now that my fellow has talked about. Empathy they bring on table, which to some extent men lack. They think that everything has to be rationalized, practical, you have to get the job done. Women tries to broaden that aspect, that let's think further. You have to build these women as a future leader. So we can't just restrict these things. You have to think beyond work as well.
Absolutely, something she spoke about, that's mental health. Most importantly, I think like very less spoken about, very less considered. Without realizing, a lot of women go through a lot of mental health issues, and they're to deal with so much more. The most important one I would say is leaving your house, leaving your wardrobe. Nobody talks about this. Actually leaving your bed, yes, actually leaving your bed, leaving your, somebody has a fascination, I have always eaten in this kind of cutlery, and just overnight people expect that you will start eating in someone else's house and be comfortable with it. What are your takes on that?
So I believe that still I don't know why society has these kind of expectations out of women to you have to move out of your house and go into a new environment of husband's family to adopt a new role. I mean, you will change your whole environment to adapt yourself to this new place, but I think there should be more of an equality. From both the sides of the parents, I think they should be understanding of the fact that if there's a new couple, they have to make a new home for themselves, and even when they are moving to a new house, I think the responsibilities should be shared. Even when you are sharing your expenses and your finances, if arrangements should be made in such a way where the families of both the sides should be looked after.
The very important, both sides, because if you are the only daughter, or if you are only two sisters, and you want to support your parents, that should be the first go. But there should be no two ways about it. But society does not look at it like that. But something very important, like as a partner, as you said, there should be understanding. You need men of today to be more mature. You need men of today to be more understanding. What are your expectations from the men you date, or the men you meet, or the men you work with?
So I think with the change in generation, there is change in gender role also. Now women are contributing in finance, in terms of sharing the responsibility, and even men. So what I expect as a women of today's generation is that to change in mindset also. Recently, I was just having a conversation with my dad, and he was just telling about general norm that if women are working, all money they keep to themselves, and they expect men to uh, help financially. But it's same as, to my defense, it's same as how women's are working at home, right? Men are not sharing. So I feel with that, with changing mindset, there has to be transparency, there has to be clear communication, be it regarding the work or uh, towards the budget management, right? We need to understand that we have evolved and there is changes, and there has to be that kind of, that high level of understanding between the couples.
That is most important. People need to understand us far better than we consider that they should. There should be equality in understanding. There is one place which has changed a lot for you all, which was not existing earlier, and that is social media now. There's a very different, way of women are being perceived on social media also. Unfortunately, women themselves are showcasing themselves in a very different manner on social media to gain attention, to gain that kind of, following, or that kind of liking, and that's making them make money. What are your take on that? What would you talk about a woman who is just like, putting herself out there in a way? But I know a lot of other women. I am not very comfortable about looking at those Instagram accounts.
So I think just last night, because were roommates, so I think I was discussing how there would be some influencer who'll be her face would be full of makeup, and then she'll come with the sunscreen that, oh my god, that's making my skin glow and everything. So I'm like, how is that even working for you, right? These are small things. Of course, it's like it makes me happy to see more women being out there and doing what they want, but at the same time they should focus on how they're influencing other people, because when they do such things they actually prick on our insecurities, right? Like with all the ads coming and stuff, it was always that way, like people are so flawless, why am I not that way? And with social media coming in and all the filters and everything coming in, it is increased that way, right? Whenever we go to social media and when we open accounts and we see people going to places, or maybe wearing certain clothes and stuff, or maybe portraying certain image that actually adds on to the stereotype, it really disheartens me.
Tell me something, guys. On social media is the most fake place it possibly can be. It is the matter of fact, right? None of us are putting our sad stories there. Even people who talk about mental health or talk about something sad, they want to glorify that aspect in a way that it materializes for them. So social media is a very fake space, and you will always show the best of what's happening. We are seeing one of the biggest social media influencer couples who are go ahead and then they have a divorce, and everybody's like, oh, they were a very happy couple. This was very happy. That was very happy. In a life like that, when a lot of things are fake, how do you guys find partners for yourself?
So
I disconnect myself a little bit from social media whenever it comes to relationships or finding friendship in within my community. So just that you asked about relationships, uh, finding a partner who is not superficial and who is that clear enough to identify, no, 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 this is the difference you need to identify, and who actually is open towards gender inequalities. And there are so many things we talk about, but then he knows the ground rules, that you can't go beyond the superficiality. Like Manshi said, that she knows that she's applying skincare on a layer of makeup. So if the guy knows that this is the fake thing and he knows that you can differentiate between them, these things women catch, that he also takes care of these things. So these
Yeah,
things.
those things matter.
Adding to your point, what I think that what social media can do to influence us, that is, it's not the women who put themselves as it how society should have high expectations. Rather, if influencers put themselves as in a very natural way how they are in their real life, also if they speak more on our day to day basis, whatever we do on our, basically now the main issue comes for mental health, then I think it will be a more equal space, and we will be something more realistic rather than just acting.
Yeah, just one point that I want to say about the couples that the influencers. I think they are, in a sense, quite. I mean, we don't know what's happening at the background of their settings. Even when we see now these days, mostly the couples who were seen setting a standard have broken up in their personal lives. And even behind the back, there are a lot of equations that are happening, of which we are unaware about. So I don't think that we should look up to them to form our personal relationships. They're more about mutual understanding that happens, which I think they lack.
Yeah, sure.
So, as much as I think social media is a very fake space sort of thing, but I think social media has also played a role in shaping our values of this generation. Because through social media, there are a lot of things that we have gotten aware of, or we have been conscious of. Like, for example, when it comes to sort of men are trying to understand what women want or what women feel, these sort of things are, when they are communicated through reels, they reach a wide mass of audience. And through this medium, a lot of ideas are spread and shared across, which wasn't the case like maybe 10 or 20 years ago. There are a lot of issues like this when it comes to menstrual hygiene awareness. And men tend to not have this knowledge when they do not talk or have a conversation with their female friends about this. But when they get this information through social media, there is some amount of awareness in them. And in the similar way, there are a lot of cases, a lot of examples like this.
That's true. Everything has a good side and a bad side to it. So before I let you guys go, just a hands up answer to those things. How many of you are wanting to have a career first before getting married? It is 100% there. How many of you want kids? Very nice. How many of you believe in the institution of marriage? I'm very impressed with the today's generation. Are you guys looking at love marriage or arranged marriage? Love marriage. 50-50. Till the time it's a marriage, anything would.
Best part about our society, I think, is we have the choice of arranged marriage, of relying on our parents, right?
Or
But
giving the or blaming them eventually for what the decision.
it was you, it was not me.
It was not me. It was very exciting to talk to all of you, the women of today, hear what they think about life, career, social media, choices that they have. And the best part is, women of today have the ability to make the choice.